This is my CEL reflection journal for fall semester. It is our last semester in the CEL program. I'm going to answer two questions. The first one has to do with my civic engagement experience and how it relates to my classroom learning objectives. And to start that off, I will say I think the majority of my experiences did support what I learned in the classroom setting. This was especially noticeable in the volunteer work that I was able to do. So I volunteer interpreted for Grace Gospel Church, as well as a few activities at the Deaf Center. I was also able to volunteer interpret at a Thanksgiving party. These experiences were a direct way to practice what I've been learning in the classroom, specifically in my interpreting class. So as new skills were added to my repertoire of skills, I was able to directly use them in the community while volunteering. Another way that my CEL experience matched my classroom experience was through my observations this semester. I was able to do 4 different observations, and 2 of them were in K through 12 settings. So this semester I took an educational interpreting class, and doing the observations really connected the dots to what we were learning in class. It really showed the variety of jobs that you might encounter working interpreting in an educational setting, the variety of students you might work with, as well as the variety of roles an interpreter might play. So getting to observe interpreters working a K through 12 setting, and also observing interpreters working different settings like community-based settings, really just showed how those roles are very different, and that directly lined up with what we were learning about in class. The next question I'm gonna answer has to do with my personal ethic. So my personal ethic is to do my best to support other people whenever possible. This ethic has formed mostly through my family. It's a value my whole family holds. When I was younger, we were involved more with organized religion, and that's a value that was very strong there. But as I grew up, I drifted away from that religion, and that value was one of the ones that really stuck with me, even though I was leaving this very organized path that encouraged it. So I think that ethic aligns very strongly with civic actions, as well as being an ally for the deaf community. A lot of the volunteer work that I've been able to do has been a direct support for deaf people in the community. The Thanksgiving dinner that I was able to volunteer for at the Deaf Center was a really great way to show this ethic. I think the deaf community has given me so much in terms of support and patience and guidance, and it feels really good to be able to give something back and support the people in that community who, in that moment, for that example, did not have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving and didn't have family to eat a meal with. So it felt like that really aligned with my ethic of supporting other people. And I think being an ally to the deaf community gives me an opportunity to be supporting people when they need it. And I think the other part of that, the supporting other people whenever possible, also aligns with what we've learned through the CEL class, because we talk a lot about boundaries and the difference between being an ally versus other roles that you might be. So I've been able to really dive into that personal ethic by engaging in volunteer opportunities, observations, workshops. It all kind of boils down to that ethic for me. Thank you for listening.